I'm Jody Jones. I have just a little over 1,300 hours. I'm a VFR pilot, and I have a tailwheel endorsement, and of that, about 600 hours in a tailwheel aircraft. Growing up on a cotton farm in Louisiana, watching the crop dusters always inspired me to get my pilot's license. For me, it's the enjoyment and pleasure of being able to jump in your plane and, enjoying some views, taking a family out to a lunch or dinner, and then, making some cross-country trips in it as well. So I fly in the Ozark Mountain region. I'm in the Midwest, just all over Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas. Go to some backcountry strips, grass strips primarily, and we'll camp out there as well. We'll make the trip to Oshkosh and Sun and Fun as well. So I currently fly Stinson 108-3. I looked at all the other planes when I was trying to decide on what I wanted to go with, and I just kept coming back to the Stinson. It fit the mission that I was looking for. I needed a 4-place aircraft that I could load my wife and daughter into and some luggage and go cross country, and I feel like Stinson was probably a little better than the other planes that I was looking at the time. I'm the president of the International Stinson Club. We have around 900 members worldwide, and for us as a group, it is all about supporting the brand of Stinsons, all Stinsons, and trying to maintain the Stinson. It's an antique aircraft that we're trying to keep flying, and so we're a support group that is out to help all of our members. So behind me is a 1943 Stinson V-77 Gullwing. They built 500 of them for the war. This specific plane was shipped to the UK and then flew from there to Burma, India, where it was used for missions in India during World War II. I guess it was the latter part of October 2020 when I went and looked at this plane, and it came calling me to take a look at it. It was involved in a hurricane. The insurance company was going to cut the engine off of it and scrap the plane, and that's where I kind of came in. Myself and 2 other friends went down. We took the wings off, we took it apart, we put it on a trailer, and we brought it in.
Jody wanted to keep this thing to where it still looked for the period. And he got to doing some research and came up with AV30s and the engine monitors that were in the round style of what we would have had back then. It enabled us to clean the panel up so much and make it so much more user-friendly. It just seemed the natural way to go. For instance, we have 2 of the old original steam gauges. We have an airspeed and an altimeter. And basically, those are for backup because everything else is also within the electronic side of the panel.
I have 2 AV30s, the Tail Beacon X. Also have the EAA CGR 30s, which are the engine monitors, and then the Era 660 with the GDL 52. Early on in my aircraft ownership, I had an older gentleman that kind of took me under his wings, and he recommended that I look into using SiriusXM. This would have been a time before ADS-B. And so I purchased a Garmin 496 with the XM weather, and since then just carried it on. I thought that having the ADS-B would have been equal to the XM weather. However, I found that it was not. Using the SiriusXM is important. Having a low and slow antique plane that's not a real fast plane, and so we need that information that is up to date, up to speed, and where we're flying, not to say we're going to try to outrun the weather. We're not, but we want to know whether we want to continue, we want to put it on the ground, or can we divert around this. I can tell you, just thinking back, my phone, which I used to gather that information to check weather at the time, was in op because I woke up and the phone was in about 3 inches of water in our tent, and I didn't realize that till I got up. And then the only weather that I could rely on that I had at the time was XM on the 496. So that taught me early on the ground that I had an option to be able to go to, and that's really when it clicked on being able to use that and not just solely rely on my phone.
There's milestones, just like the first time we was able to light up the instrument panel on this. That's a lot of satisfaction, but be very honest, it's when you fire it up for the first time and you're out there on the end of the runway and it's time to go. I mean, you get complete closure. You've taken something that could be, in this case, damaged, to one that you've just, stripped down and recovered. It's still exciting to put it out there on the runway and put it back in there again.